You know, a lot of people see the word LaTeX and instantly think it's some sort of mysterious software only scientists use. But honestly, it's just a really clever system for making your documents look super professional, especially if you're dealing with math or technical stuff.
Totally. What throws newcomers off is that LaTeX isn't like Word at all. Instead of clicking around with your mouse to style things, you basically write out your document using special commands, kind of like writing instructions in plain text. Then, you hit compile and voila, you get a perfectly formatted PDF.
I remember the first time I tried it. Seeing my rough notes turn into a polished paper felt almost magical. But it's not just about the looks. LaTeX is a markup language, right?
Exactly. And that means you're describing the structure and content, not just fiddling with how it appears. So instead of dragging boxes or adjusting fonts every 2 minutes, you tell LaTeX what you want: a section, an equation, a table, and it handles the formatting for you.
Now, some folks might ask, why should I learn a whole new way of writing when Word seems easier? But the perks of LaTeX really start to add up, especially if you're in science or engineering, right?
For sure, one huge thing is the quality of the output. LaTeX makes technical documents look incredibly consistent, especially with math and references. That's why it's pretty much the gold standard for research papers and dissertations.
And I love how it handles all the numbering for you. I can't even count how many times I messed up figure numbers in Word because I moved something at the last minute.
Oh, absolutely, LaTeX just updates everything automatically. Move a table, and it'll fix the numbering and the cross-references without you lifting a finger. Plus, if you're collaborating, working with plain text is a lifesaver. Tools like Git actually make tracking changes manageable, unlike Word files, which are a nightmare to merge.
That actually reminds me, using Overleaf or GitHub with LaTeX makes multi-author projects so much smoother. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, what really sets LaTeX apart from Word. Besides the learning curve,
Well, to start, LaTeX is all about consistency. Because everything's code-based, your formatting never gets out of hand. Word, on the other hand, can look okay at first, but gets messy fast, especially with big documents.
That's true. Word often feels like it's fighting me when I try to organize sections or manage references. LaTeX kind of forces you to be organized from the get-go.
And don't forget equations. LaTex's math typesetting is in a league of its own. With packages like AmsMath, you can write anything from simple formulas to crazy long equations, and everything just lines up perfectly.
Funny, you say that whenever I see a beautiful equation in a textbook, chances are it was made with LaTeX. Word's equation editor just doesn't keep up, especially for more advanced stuff. You know, all this talk about equations and structure, can we walk through a quick example? How does writing an equation look in LaTeX versus Word?
Sure. In Word, you'd go hunting for the equation editor, click around, and hope it doesn't randomly resize your text. But in LaTeX, you just write something like E equals meq2 directly in your file, and when you compile, it looks flawless every single time.
And that's just the start. LaTeX is used everywhere. Research articles, theses, even presentation slides with Beamer. Once you've got the basics down, it's like unlocking a secret weapon for academic writing.
What surprised me most is how scalable it is. Whether you're building a 2-page assignment or a 200-page dissertation, LaTeX handles it without breaking a sweat. The output always looks sharp and professional.
Let's be real, the learning curve can be a little daunting at first. Did you ever feel like giving up when you started with LaTeX?
I definitely felt a bit lost at the beginning. Having to learn all those commands can feel overwhelming. But once you get the hang of it, it's so much faster and more reliable than tweaking every little thing by hand.
And there are some awesome tools now like Overleaf where you don't even have to install anything. You just sign up and start typing, and it shows you live previews as you go.
Exactly. Plus, with resources like Tech Studio or even local installations like Mictex, you can set things up however you like. The key is just to start small, write a simple document, try adding an equation, and build from there. The payoff is huge, especially if you do academic or technical writing regularly.
Once you realize how much time you save and how good everything looks, it's honestly hard to go back to Word. So, if someone's still on the fence, maybe they're worried about the effort, what would you say to encourage them to give LaTeX a real try?
I tell them it's like investing a little time up front for massive rewards later. You get documents that are not just beautiful but also easy to manage as they grow. And you can focus on your ideas instead of battling with formatting.
That's how I see it too. LaTeX lets you separate what you want to say from how it's presented. Once you experience the consistency and control, it's tough to settle for anything less.
And honestly, that's why scientists, engineers, and academics all over the world rely on it. Start with one project, and before you know it, you'll wonder how you ever wrote papers without it.